So we left ourselves at the overflow issue, which I'm going to show you right now, which is this. It just doesn't look good. And the last is not scrolling properly. So let's go to code and fix this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the animation for now and let's see what is happening. So in Firefox, so the scroll is there, but it's on the element. What I want actually is that it should be on the container. What I mean by that is, first of all, I need to remove overflow from this one. Here, I don't need this. I'm going to remove it. So now the whole container becomes flowing, right? This is what I want. And in the section, I want to stop overflow. So here, overflow, I want as hidden. So now there is overflow, there is content which is outside, but you cannot scroll it. And that scrolling we will do using the animation. So let's quickly move this up here. So this is not needed. I don't want overflow here. Animation is needed. For my section, I'm gonna give a class. I don't know. Let's give it top coin or something. Top hyphen coins. Okay, not that much basic. So top coins we'll give, and in my CSS for index, because top coins is specific to index.css, I'm gonna do dot top hyphen coins, and here I'm just gonna do overflow as hidden. Okay, simple. So I'm hiding the overflow on my coins, which now you can see here in my Firefox. It's working pretty normally. I close it and you can see it's there. And this is going to end. Yes, I think we forgot to tell it that it, cannot end. Maybe this extra space, this extra padding, which we can fix using the right property, something. That's not an issue. Maybe we can fix it a little later as well. Moving on to the next one. Next one is going to be a footer. So we have to be careful about the footer as well, because footer is going to be common for all the pages. So let's use that. Go to my index.html. For the footer, what I want. Let's see, what did we plan? So for the footer, what I have planned is very simple. Just a copyright logo, followed by some text, followed by a GitHub image on the left hand side for taking me to the code base. Simple. So let's quickly do that. In my footer, I'm gonna have a paragraph tag, copyright. So copy is an entity, for that we'll use entity, copy, and crypto view, right, developed by Irish and team. Okay. And after that, let's go on to add an anchor tag here. So let's quickly do that. Anchor tag, and inside an anchor tag I will have the image img src. We don't know the source, we will download from flat icon, don't worry. Alt for this will become GitHub image. I'll just write GitHub logo, I don't know. Okay. Let's go to flat icon. I'll take you to my browser. Flat icon here, and just search for GitHub. And I think we can select the first table, whatever result comes. Yep, this one looks good. The first result is good. So I'm going to go here, download the PNG again, free download. I don't need to pay anything for it, and it should be downloaded. Yeah, it is. I can check in my downloads folder. Let me quickly copy that and paste it to my assets images. So here we go. Let's paste it. And I take VS Code here. You can see GitHub 1.png because I already have downloaded. And I'm going to rename this to GitHub _logo. This is the logo. You can see open anyway, and you can see this is logo. Okay. In the index.html, I will quickly change assets and images and GitHub logo. Now remember the last two times when we attached images, they all messed up. So here also I am expecting it will mess up. So I'm going to give it a class name. I don't know, footer image, something like that. I'll just give footer image. Anchor will take me to somewhere on GitHub. So anchor href is going to be https www.github.com. Your target is going to be blank. Okay. And paragraph is going to be paragraph, pretty straightforward there. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so go to Firefox and let's try to see how it looks. Scroll down for the footer, and yes, as we expected, image is really big. So let's fix that. Go to code, and footer is for all of them, right? For all pages. So this goes in common. So in common, for my footer image, I'm going to create a class here, obviously. So a class goes here, dot footer hyphen image, and the height, let's give it 1.5 RE. Okay. If this doesn't work, then I'll probably give some other height or something. Let's see how it looks now. Go to Firefox, and yes, the image is better, but the text is again in the next line, and that is pretty obvious. We are using paragraph tag. Paragraph tag is display block, so we have to fix that. I'll quickly check my code here. If I just change here and give it a class of this as class equals to inline, we already made this utility class. So if we give d inline, does it fix or not? And it fixes. That's good, that's better. But image is still on the sticking together, which we can very easily fix. And here I will give it a class in the image itself. We have a class called as floating. So f of right. Okay. And the image is on the right side. That's good. It's sticking. So probably we'll give some padding to the footer and we'll fix that. So we'll go to the code now and do all of these changes. So those are the class names. So here for my paragraph tag, I'm going to have a class, call it as display of inline. For the image, I'm going to have another class, and we already have that class, and that is going to be f of right, floating on the right side. And for the footer in general, I have some ideas. So for the footer, what I'm thinking is, we are gonna have background color of white. So I want to pick white here. So my background color becomes white. I want to use the hex code. So for white, it's FF. So FFF. And padding, I'll give some padding. A regular padding of, I don't know, 1 rem or something. Pretty simple. And one more thing I want to do is I want to stick this to the bottom. So I'm going to give position of absolute. And remember what happens in absolute? Absolute is positioned with respect to its nearest position ancestor. So nearest position ancestor for this, I want the body. So I'll just give position relative. I won't give any left, right, top, bottom because we don't actually want to change it. Just give a relative position. So my footer can be aligned with that. And here I want to give bottom to 0 pixel. So if my content is less than the height of my screen, then footer will stick at the bottom. Okay. Now let's see how it looks. I'll go back to my Firefox. Let's see. Okay. And we still have a problem. We have two problems. First of all, the footer is not completely 100%. So let's fix that. In the footer tag, let's give the width of 100%. But 100% will include the padding as well. So what I have to do is I have to calculate. So I'm going to use the calc function. Calculate 100% minus 1 rem, because both the sides we have padding, right? So minus 2 rem. So now it looks good. And at the body tag, not in the head, in the body, I also want to give a padding bottom. right, to handle to, accommodate for this footer. So I'm not really sure about 10 rem. Let's see. Oh, not padding. I want to give padding bottom. Let's see. Okay, 10 rem is probably too much space. I might change it to 5 rem. Let's see now. Yep, 5 rem definitely looks better. So let's put these changes into code. Let's go back here. And in my footer, what did I change? I changed the width. So width becomes a calculation of 100% minus 2 rem. Why 2 rem? Because we have 1 pixel on the right, 1 pixel on the left for padding. Why 100%? Because we want 100% of the width. So if we do exact 100%, it's going to take the padding and going to overflow. So we calculate, we tell the browser that, hey, take 100%, subtract the 2 rem on each side, and that should be the width. For my body, I want to do margin bottom. So let's quickly do that here. Margin hyphen bottom about 5 rem. Okay. And at this time, this looks pretty good. If I go back now, if I go back to my Firefox, the home page looks decently good. We have the top points, we have all of this. The data will obviously be fetched by JavaScript when we do that. This problem we have to solve. I am thinking about it. I'm not really sure what is going wrong in this one, but this should be fine. This should have been fine. I think it depends on the number of cards and the width total. So we might be able to fix it by just increasing the number of cards. Just maybe having 25 or 27 cards, whatever. We might actually be able to fix this problem. Let's see. We scroll down. Oh, padding we didn't give, so let me quickly give padding here as well. Oh, we give margin actually, so we have to give padding. So let's give padding and let's see now. And let's see up to the end what happens. 25 points is pretty good. 25 points is decently enough. And it should move. Then after some point, it should start alternating. So yeah, just the number of points if we increase, then that is okay. That extra space will not come. Yes, there is a trade-off that some space will not be shown also, but I guess that trade-off is okay to be done. And that would be it from the homepage side of view. Looks good. Let's move to the search page. Right now this button doesn't work, but we will need to have this button working. So I'll give it an ID so that later we can have something. So here in my index.html, I will give this button an ID. So here, where is my button? Here. At least some ID so that later when we access this using JavaScript, we can have some sort of an identification for this one. Okay. So I don't know. Let's give nav search button. So let's give it here nav -search button. Okay. So we're gonna give nav search button. Now let's move on to the search screen. Search screen is pretty empty at the moment. Nothing here. Nothing to show. On my Firefox, I can load and see. So we go to /search. Pretty basic. Cannot even get search. Yes, I have to give search.html. So nothing there to see. All empty. Let's write some code. So nav is going to be copied from the navigation bar itself. And I think this would be a good time to actually copy them. So navigation bar, I am going to quickly copy and paste. Yep. And the footer, same thing for the footer as well. Copy and paste. Again, give some comments, this is for the footer. The navigation bar also, this is for the navigation bar. Okay. and we have allotted common, but we have also made the same bug which we made in the previous one. So I'm going to fix it, style sheet here, and I'm going to fix it in the other one as well, detail, because we copy pasted, right? So yeah, if you make a mistake while copy pasting, it becomes copy pasta. So you have to be careful about that, that you're copy pasting it properly. Okay. Now here in my navigation bar, sorry, not in the navigation bar, in my search screen, I'm going to create a section, obviously, and inside this section I will have an h1. I don't know, what do we call it? We call it search, or what do we call it? Search result, search crypto, I don't know. Search crypto, search results, anything. Let's go with search only, simple, not going fancy, just search. And let's see how it was supposed to look. So I'll go to white, and here my search screen was supposed to look like this. My search screen was supposed to have a search title in the middle. We'll fix that very easily. We already have, the helper classes for that. Text middle we already have. The image, I'm sorry, not image, input tags we can do that, probably a flex container, and justify content center will do it. Below that we will have the card for each of them, like a table sort of a thing. So let's jump into our code. So search, I want yellow text. So class, we already have a helper class for this, yellow text, and text center. Okay. I want some margin as well, so I'm going to give some class here, margin top of 5. I guess 5 is fine, or just 1 is also good enough. Not that much, not that less, decently good enough. Okay. Now after this we will have our inputs. So I'm going to wrap it inside of div container because we're going to make it flex, and we'll have input type of text. Placeholder is going to be, I don't know, enter coin name. Okay, and with a placeholder, that's fine. Name we have to give because we will also wrap this inside a form. We'll do that. Before that, input type submit. For this, the value is going to be search, because search is the text we want to show in the button. So we're going to do that. Whereas this div container becomes a flex container, right? So this class, this becomes flex, or just call it search input container, because flex is not in the common. Flex is not in the common. We didn't plan for that, but it's okay. In the search screen itself, we can just write flex. So here is going to be search input container, and here we'll have a display of flex, and flex direction is obviously going to be row, and we want justify content center. So you want the image, sorry, not the image, the input and this flex to be input and the button to be in the center side. Here I don't need flows index. On the search page, what I also want is that it should have some sort of a margin here as well. So I'll just give an empty of 1. Just some margin, some spacing should be there. Okay. What else I'm thinking? Maybe we'll change the color. Color is yellow text. I'm not really sure. What did we name it? Text yellow. Color yellow. Okay. So we're gonna call it color yellow. Color text nahi, color yellow. Color yellow and text container center. Okay. That is fine. We will wrap everything of this inside a form. And the reason we are doing that is so that when we submit this form, it will directly, take it to the search screen, which is going to be very helpful. So action, not accept, action for this is going to be the same screen. And where are we? Yep, we are here. And it's going to be the same screen. And the mode or method I should say, method is going to be get. Method is the correct attribute here. So when I submit this form, it will just refresh the page and take me to that same screen. Name we need for this input. So name will be, I don't know, Q for query. So whenever I search for say Bitcoin, BIT, it should take me to the bit URL. And to show that to you, I'll take you to my Firefox here. So now if I'm searching for bit, hit enter, it search and the query becomes bit. If I'm say searching for something else, say Ethereum, ETHEREUM, whatever, it will change the query and show me Ethereum. And this thing works if I search for pretty much anything and I click enter, then also it searches. If I click on the button, then also it searches. So that is helpful for me. Without any JavaScript, just by built-in HTML, I can use functionalities like these. Okay. Now after this, after my search container, I want a simple horizontal row. So HR horizontal rule. And after this, I want to have the search result container. It's also going to be flex. I'm not really sure at the moment, but let's see. While we develop, we'll figure out something. So here I'm going to create a div. Again, very simple, very simple. And this is going to be class search result container. Inside this, we will have a single search basically. So div class single search result. For each of them, we'll have a single result. So this is like each single card, individual card. Okay. So for this, what I want is search result container. At this point, I don't have any idea here. But single search result, I'm actually having a couple of ideas. So inside single search result, what I want is, I'll show you what we planned actually. So we can see here, it was supposed to be the ID 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, followed by the logo, followed by your text, big text, followed by a button for more information. Okay, so these were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things which we wanted to do. So ID, I will put it in the paragraph tag here, and the name and everything. Before that, we have to put image src. Again, same assets logo. We're gonna reuse this thing. And alt for this is becoming coin logo, something like this. Below that, we will have an h3, say Bitcoin. Below that, we will have another h3, say BTC. Below that, we will have a button, say more info. Again, these are not actually going to be below each other. They are going to be in the same line that we can very easily fix using display flex. Okay, so but before that, this is how it is supposed to be like. Each single card, each single search result will have this information. Okay, now let's give some CSS to this search.css. Right now we have not given pretty much anything. So for search result, let's try to fix this. This is going to be a card, so I'm going to change it and give it a card as well. The background and the border and everything we can fix because we have it in the utility class. Now meanwhile, the search.css, what I want is obviously the container. This is search 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 result container. This fellow, I want it to be flex, so I'm gonna give display of flex. And flex direction, it's okay, it's going to be column only, one below the other. Flex wrap, we don't need to care about it because everything is one below the other. Okay, so that is fine. For single search result, this is going to be interesting. So for single search result, again, we are going to use display flex. We can use flex inside one another. That's not a problem. Nesting of flex is completely allowed. But this one is going to be row. So flex direction, row, and flex wrap. We can allow wrapping so that, we don't get into overflow. So if there is no space, then, do it. Flex hyphen wrap is going to be wrap. Allow wrapping. Background color, we already know for the card. What else can we give? Padding. We can give some padding. How much? I'm not really sure. 0.5 rem. And how about 2 rem or something like this? Okay. So let's see. This should be fine. This should be fine. Margin also, I'm thinking, just on the one side we need. So 0 rem here, but about 5 rem on the left and right we want. Top and bottom is okay, 0 rem. Search result container here, I might also give it a class of empty1, just to give some space from the top. And meanwhile, this image we have to fix, because every time we added some image, it was messing up. So single search result, having an image, fix that, and fix it like this. Give it a height. Give it a height of 2 rem. Okay. Then what else do we want? Paragraph. No, paragraph. We want some height, or we want to increase something. Maybe for H3 especially, we want to increase. So single search result, having an H3, should increase the font size to about 1.5 rem. Just have something, you know. Let's see how it looks right now. So this is how it looks, you know, everything is stuck together. This we can very, very easily, you know, using something called as justify content. So here my search input container, no, sorry, single search result. Here I will just give justify content about space between. So now if we go back to my Firefox, you see the spacing is pretty good. The paragraph is at the top. I want to fix this fellow, so maybe I'll give some margin, I guess. Not really sure. Let's see. Can I give a margin of top of 0.5 rem? Thoda center mein, it's a little bit center, maybe a little light. 0.4 is good. So I'm gonna give 0.4. How about 0.45? 4.5. I think 4.5 is better. So I'm gonna go to my code here, and for single search result, for a paragraph inside it, I want to give a margin top of 0.45 rem. You know, a little bit on that. Okay. And this same thing is going to be copy pasted, right? So I'm going to copy paste this fellow. Copy and paste and paste. Okay, we are pasting some additional div, I think. Let's quickly check that. I just want single search result from here to here. Okay. Let's paste. So paste and paste and paste and paste and paste and paste and paste a couple of times just to see how it looks. So let's see. And out of the box, we can notice that, hey, we are missing the cap property. So let's quickly give that property. In my search for the flex container, cap is going to be about 1 rem. Oh wait, which one I'm doing? Yeah, we can do here, or we can also give one more thing about here as well. No, not here. I don't want to give gap here. Here itself we can try single search container, not single search, sorry, search result container. So this one we can have search result container here, give it a gap of 1 rem. Let's see how that looks. Let's go back to Firefox, and that doesn't work. For some reason that doesn't work. I'm probably guessing we have a typo. Let's see, search result. Yep, there's a typo in the class name. So let's quickly fix that. Where is my HTML? Let me open the HTML, and let's fix search result container. Here we go. Now we have got the gap. Gap is, I think, too much. Maybe I want to change it to 0.5. Let me quickly change it from the HTML side. I'm sorry, from the code. I'm going to change the gap to about 0.5 rem. Yeah, this looks better. This looks way better than what it was. I want same thing. I want a little hover on this thing. A little bit of hover. So on this row, single search result, I want a hovering. What I'm going to do is, I am going to first of all have a hover class here. Pseudo class. It's actually a pseudo class. So single search result colon hover, and in the hover all I will change is maybe the box shadow, because I want to feel it. It's like lifted. I want to feel it elevated. So I'm just going to give a simple box shadow. Box shadow. It takes a couple of properties, so I don't want anything here. A little thing on this axis, maybe 4 pixel or something. Blur radius, I want about 8 pixel. 8 pixel is good enough. The value RGBA, because I want a little bit of opacity playing here. It has to be a black shadow, obviously, but it should be very, very, not that solid. Maybe 0.5, I guess. Okay, let's see. Let's see how it looks. So when I go here and I hover on any of them, okay, this doesn't work. Why does this doesn't work? Did I save the file? And let's check. Single search result. Hover. What did we do? What did we miss? Let's check. Yep, in my section, inside this section, let's try to open this. No, not this one. This one, search container, single search result. Let's open any of them. Hey, one of them is overflowing. That's okay. Why is you might check it later. Why is this one overflowing? But it's fine because it's pretty much copy of others. Anyway, so this one, when I hover on this, so can I hover from here? Nope. From here I can select hover, and when I hover we have the CSS applied, but we have a problem. Invalid property value. Interesting. What is the value we are thinking? We are thinking 0x. Again 0x. It has to be 0px. Yes, and now you can see that it is actually hovering. So uncheck this. I don't want to force hover, but whenever I bring my mouse here, it is going to hover. Okay. I want it to be smooth, so same thing, transition we will add. Go back to my code and fix this. Nice and easy bug. Fix this, and I also want a transition to everything pretty much, and 0.25 seconds. Not that too much, but a little bit, So if you go on to Firefox, we can see there is a smooth transition here. So we can see whichever we have hovered on. Button also, I want a little bit fancy transition, fancy animation sort of a thing. So let's quickly fix that. So here we go. In my code, for a single search result, for the button, what I'm looking is that first of all, it should be white background. So background color has to be white. And then the border, I'm thinking 1 pixel solid, but this time the blue color from our palette. From this palette, this we don't need, we can close it now. From this palette, I'm thinking this blue color. So copy this, go back to code. So it's going to be 1 pixel solid followed by this color, right? Simple. And then what I want is a little bit of border radius, pretty standard here. So border radius, it's going to be 5 pixel, nothing much. Cursor obviously going to be pointed, and animation we will be giving. So transition is going to be all 0.25 seconds. When I hover on this, when I hover on the single search result and the button, on the button especially, because this will be this pseudo class is on the hover, pseudo class is on the button. So when I hover on this, change the background color and change this background color to the dark blue, which we have here, and change the text color to white. Okay, so let's go back to that and see. Move to here. So now when I hover on this, you see more info is like highlighted here. I want a little bit more padding on this. More info is looking really, really weird. So I'm just going to quickly attach padding to this button. So how much padding I'm thinking? Top and bottom is fine. So that is 0 pixel. On the horizontal side, I'm thinking maybe 1 rem or something. So a little bit more, you see. Now it has some space. It's breathing out. You have additional space here, which looks kind of good. I mean, you're making a pretty good project here. The input also, I want it to be a little bigger. Right now, the input tag is really, really small. Input tag and the button. So maybe we'll attach and we'll change, the font size basically. That's all we need to change. So we go to the code. And here we have search input container. We should have somewhere. Search input container, we can simply change the font size. So maybe I'll make it for a separate one. So search input container, in that we have whatever inputs we have. For that, change the font size to about 1.5 rem. Okay. Have a little bit, have a little bit bigger inputs basically. Okay. So then we might be able to, okay, we might have a problem here. I forgot to notice it actually didn't work, and the reason for that is we use angular brackets. Angular bracket is for direct child, remember? So what we have to do is we have to use space. Space is for descendant. And now you can see the search is actually a little bit bigger. Whatever coin you search, ABCD, it'll search and it'll take you back to this screen. Okay. So at this point, my search screen is also pretty much done. Looks fancy, looks good. One thing I forgot to do is when I click on this title, when I click on this, navigation main part, it should take me back to my home screen. Okay, so that maybe I'll do it in the next video because we are anyway about half an hour, I believe. And that would be it for this video. See you in the next part. Bye-bye.